Hey everybody, welcome back to the ROLINC Recruiting Roundup. I am Jasmine Weber, our Director of Marketing and an Executive Recruiter. And we have our CEO, Adrian Dominguez, with me today. We've been doing some Meet the Teams, but excited to dive into some recruiting trends and topics that are, top of discussion throughout the industry. So Adrian, super excited to have you back.
Glad to be on. And I know it's been a turbulent last few years for the recruiting industry. So we thought we'd kind of go in the direction of what is the role of a recruiter? Why are we even here? Guess it's a fundamental question, but very critical one, especially in a market like this. So I'm really excited about getting on this topic.
Me too. I think it's can be so different how a company actually utilizes a recruiter and what that means in their hiring process. And in some cases, they may be underutilizing a recruiter. So
Right.
I think this is a great topic for us to discuss. I'm excited to dive into what a recruiter does for the hiring process, even if it's on your team or a recruiter from a third party agency. So I'll kick us off here on, I think, one of the most obvious things that a recruiter is supposed to do is really connect those technical skills and soft skills that are needed for the job. And that goes deeper than just reading off a job description. Obviously, most of the people applying can read the job description, and
Right.
so not everybody, but most people may know the main requirements. But I think where a good recruiter can make a difference is understanding not only your company's personalities and management styles and the different people on the team and being able to dig that out of a person on a first call. So I think bringing in that personality piece and learning, like, what management styles have you not jived with? What management styles did you absolutely love? Are you more of a collaborator? Are you more autonomous?
Right. No doubt. I think the biggest challenge for a good recruiter, and I think it was Jim Collins, so forgive me, I'm just going to say it like it was quoted in the book, getting the right butts on the bus, but you had to get the right butts in the right seat on the right bus. And I think to really maximize on the return investment that you have with a recruiter, whether that's in-house or with a third-party agency, you really want to make sure that you are setting them up for success. And a big part of that is them being able to essentially be a brand ambassador for your company. It's really enabling them and giving them insight into not just being a channel of communication back and forth. We oftentimes use that term in regards to, say, the marketing department. I think in the day and age in which we live, in the market that we're in right now, really the recruiter needs to have a marketing mindset. How can I represent not just the job opening? And by the way, I know, Jasmine, we're not talking about this, but I have to say it because this came up in a conversation recently. I was talking with someone, a friend of mine, having a barbecue. He's an executive in business development for a national retail brand. And he said that, oh my goodness, our job postings are atrocious. They read like I said, like an internal like job description. He goes, yeah. So let me just get this out there. A job posting needs to be a commercial. And when the recruiter connects with that candidate, they really should not, it should not feel like an interaction where they're reading a script, where they're just talking about the job. It should be so much bigger than that. It really needs to be like, here is our brand. Here is what we are about. And then you drill down further from there. And now we start talking about what the opportunity is about. I think when you start off with, let me talk to you about the job, yes, that's important. And you need to get to that? Absolutely. But in very short time, you can give this person you're talking to a little bit of insight into what kind of brand are they buying into, because guess what? They are shopping. They're not just applying for a job. And
Right.
the way that businesses online especially are getting, I mean, I know this, Jasmine, from own experience. I hate to admit this, that technology is listening to everything I'm talking about. I'm talking about to my wife about like a hat or something. And so the next several scrolls, it's like, oh, there's that branded bill commercial, and there's that
Instant.
branded. Yeah, and it just keeps showing up. And so they're capturing, here's what you want. Okay, let me present all these commercials to you. That's what an interview or initial phone call should be like from a recruiter. And if the recruiter's not set up and the company does not enable them and say, look, we want to make sure you are equipped with fully understanding, not, yes, the personalities on the team, but on a macro level, here is who we are as a company. And we're inviting
For
you
sure.
to buy in,
Yeah.
versus here's this job description, go try to find someone.
Exactly. Our goal is to be an extension of your brand. I'm not here to just talk to someone and send you a name. I'm trying to know exactly what you're looking for to where when I send you someone, I'm sure that there's someone you're going to like. And I think that kind of will take us into our next point, which is a good recruiter isn't looking out for just candidates or just clients. We're
Right.
trying to be that outside perspective and look out for both parties and not, be biased
Right.
one way or the other.
Right.
Back to putting the right butts
Let's,
in the right
yeah.
seats. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I think it goes back to something I mentioned earlier. If I want the best talent, I should say, and Jasmine, you're looking for me. I should say, look, I want you to look for the things that I can't see. If I didn't need that, then you're no longer part of the equation. I'll just do it myself. Like
Right.
that to me is one of the greatest values a recruiter brings. It's not just, I don't have the time to do this. It's, I can't see what you're seeing. So there are going to be times where I need you to push back a little bit. I need you to go, hey, are you
Right.
sure about this? Not because you have your own agenda or you're trying to get a commission or anything like that. But I want to put, and it goes the other way too. There are times where the candidate goes, well, I don't know. I'm not so sure. It's like, look, I'm not here to try to force you, twist your arm, convince you. But there's a side of this. I just want to make sure you consider this, because I would hate for you to pass this up or for you to not really be comparing apples to apples because I didn't do my part in communicating some things that you can't see. And I think that is where, if the company enables the recruiter to do that and lets them know from day one, hey, this is what we need from you, man, that makes such a difference versus I'm just here to, basically take communication back and forth. If we don't bring subject matter expertise on what the job market is doing, on salary expectation, on what the interview process should look like on both sides of this thing, what do we do? We don't bring value.
Commodity. And the reason that we push back sometimes is because we have seen where this has worked out, where we push back because it could be something as simple as, like you said, communication wise. Maybe there was a skill that they didn't mention actually was a necessity on the client side. So we didn't write it in a profile. And they come back and say, we're actually not interested in this guy. Well, why? Because they didn't have this. Actually, they did. They mentioned that to me, but I didn't know it was important.
Right.
That's just a light situation. But there have been many times where maybe we push back a little further and they turn into hires where clients have come back like, I'm glad that you pushed back.
Right. Both parties should have someone that's really looking out to make sure that everyone's considering all the factors, because we all have blind spots. And our job in the recruiting space is to make sure that we are looking out for the blind spots of both parties.
Agreed. I think that's where the values come back into play for not only your company, but does a recruiting company have similar values to who you are and is able to showcase that. I think this has been a great conversation. Adrian, do you have any last words to wrap it up?
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting and turbulent market out there for both companies and for job seekers. Job seekers, while there are many opportunities available, there's a lot of trepidation about maybe leaving their current situation because they see some of the instability in the market. But ultimately, there's so much opportunity for both parties. It's a matter of everyone really making sure, again, all factors are being discussed. And again, that's where hopefully the right TA people, whether it's an internal team or external, can help you.
Agreed. Like you said, there is tons out there. So happy for ROLINC to be of help wherever we can, whether that's giving some more insights and swapping stories of what we're seeing in the industry, or if we can help recruiting for anything from staffing, skilled labor side, all the way up to executive, sales, and engineering roles on the direct hire side. We are here to help. And if you have any ideas for topics that you'd like to see us discuss, feel free to drop us a message. Again, this is the ROLINC Recruiting Roundup. I'm the host, Jasmine Weber, and I've got Adrian Dominguez here. Adrian, thanks again.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure to be on today.